Hey yo, what is up? Today is the Caliban review, and today's replay is supplied by Fizzle, who's got a Kolobanov 1v6 game in his newly minted Caliban. Of course, this is a Christmas loot box tank together with the M4Y and the Thorn Bargain, which you can only get through the loot box. Now, a lot of people have been, wishing, they get the Thorn Bargain. Some people wish they got the M4Y tank. Some people, of course, also pick the Caliban. Now, based on statistics and all the early information that we got, it seemed like the M4 Yo tank was the best performing tank. So if you're interested in high performance, great tank, that Yo tank was fantastic choice. But after playing this tank for about like 20 games, the most games I have played the entire year in one tank. I've played more games in this tank than all other tanks combined this year, and this is why. Hilarious 850 alpha damage gun with the HE. This thing can roll 1000 damage depending on your RNG. What can I say, man? I've had so much fun with this tank. Now, I made a mistake playing this tank with the premium shells, with the AP shells. That was my... Is it AP or is it heat on the premium shells? I'm not too sure. I think it's AP. But the AP shells, although it does 292 millimeters of penetration with 600 damage, like you're almost guaranteed to do 600 damage because of the high penetration. The correct way to play the Caliban is with the HE shells, with the 850 alpha. Now, the HE shells on your usual guns have very low penetration, but on the Caliban you can get 180 millimeters of penetration, which is not too bad, especially if you're facing tier 8 tanks or tier 9 tanks. It's not too bad. 180 penetration, quite often you can penetrate medium tanks, and light tanks aren't a problem at all with 180 millimeters of penetration. Remember, this is a HE gun with high penetration. Usually HE guns, 50, 60 millimeters of penetration. This one does 180, so it is pretty good, and you can rely on the damage potential out of this gun, I would say, because you don't always pen. Sometimes you bounce, sometimes you only do 100 damage, sometimes you do 180 damage, but a lot of times if you aim your shot, if you connect your shot, you do get the 850 average roll. And if RNG is on your side, plus 25%, easily 1000 hit points of damage. Now, if you're looking at this game, Zillow here is actually in a pretty good position, already done 2.2k damage, but here is where he could have been a little bit more aggressive and helped out his team to finish off the game, but he chose to sit behind and farm the damage, and I think he's doing the right thing here. His team is actually, even though we're even on amount of tanks, 7 apiece, but we're down 3.7k HP, which means this is still a losing game, not in your team's favor. Even though you're one tank up, but you're down 2.5k in HP, that means those enemy tanks are very healthy. So he decides to move up and help out his team. What can I say about the Caliban? It is a heavy tank, not a tank destroyer. So don't play it like a tank destroyer and snipe from the back. The dispersion is absolutely atrocious. 0.58 dispersion with 4.10 seconds of aim time. It is an auto reloader, which means it has a 2-clip auto reloader, but you can't play it like a 2-shot tank. You have to play it like a 1-shot tank. That's because after you fire 2 shells, the reload time is over a minute. It's gonna take forever. So what you want to do is fire off 1 shell and then wait for that 1 shell to reload, which is about 24 seconds. Now if you have cruise skills, BIA, vents, you could get that reload down significantly lower. Now I can't remember what dispersion I got, but I think I got 0.48 dispersion and 3.5 seconds of aim time. That is because I am running, of course, food, BIA skills. I am also running a vertical stabilizer, improved aim, and I'm running double vents. That is my choice. There are a lot of people who play different kinds of equipment. It is really up to you how you set up your equipment, but I think some kind of vertical stabilization or IRM or improved aim helps out a lot. Vents help out a lot. There's no point in carrying optics in this tank because it is a heavy tank. You can't rely on yourself to spot for yourself. Even if you don't run optics, the view range is pretty good. You can get it up to close to 440 meters of view range, so the view range isn't that bad. And if you have enough cruise skills, you can get away with about 430 plus 440 meters of view range. Now again, the equipment choice here, I did try out a few other combinations, like with the IRM and vertical stabilizers, but in the end I stuck with the vertical stabilizer, double vents, and improved aim, and that was what worked out for me. And also initially I played a lot with the premium shells because I wanted to guaranteed pen. I wanted to I was happy to get a higher penetration with lower alpha damage with the 600 alpha damage shell, but after playing 20-25 games with it, I realized that the right way to go is with the HE shells and gamble with that 180 millimeters of penetration. Right now you are looking at a 1v6 situation. If you paid attention throughout the game, you saw him firing mostly one shots. You saw him doing mostly single shots and then waiting for the reload of that single shot cell of the single shell, instead of firing 2 shots and waiting for 2 shells to reload, which takes over a minute. So he is playing very intelligently, and he does very well here. Eliminates 1. Now it's a 1v5. In a situation like this, it is really baffling that the enemy team would completely throw this away. Instead of approaching this guy with all their tanks together, they are approaching one by one and just giving him time to maneuver and giving him time to think about his situation. In a situation like this, you really want to go in all together so that you don't give him any time to think about it. This heavy tank, the tank destroyer SU, should be just rushing him and firing a shot while waiting for the 5100. So now the SU backed off, 5100 comes in. He has no choice but to fire both his shells in this situation. So what does he have to do here? He needs to try and run away. So what he's decided to do is use up both his shells. Now he's got to wait over a minute, and Thankfully, he's got some dead tanks here to use as a shield to hide from the SU. What that SU really need to do is just drive around and chase him and try to, you know, get as much HP down as possible while his teammates come and finish him off. But instead, he has whiffed one shot, he has fucked around the bush, and our friend here is actually got enough HP to take more hits. So what he's going to do is sit around, try to tank some shots and wait for his second shell to reload. So he's waiting for his second shell to reload before he even shoots, and he's got he's fired one shell but it did not finish him off. So he has wasted his second shot because he's missed it, and now he's got to wait another minute before one shell reloads, and he is in a difficult situation now. They should just rush him, but instead the SU-100, even though this guy is reloading, the SU-100 thinks he's got one shell, so he got played there. And even this KV-3, he could have just rushed him, maybe tank a shot, maybe bounce it. You know, you've got to take your chances there. Instead, he's giving him time. Look at him, he's taking his time, waiting for his second shell to reload before he shoots at the Panther and finishes off that Panther. Now he's got one shell and he's waiting for a reload before he's going to push that KV-3, because if he's got two shells ready to go, he can actually two-shot that KV-3 very easily. Now that he's lost the spot of the KV-3, he can actually drive around and try to surprise that KV-3 from the back, you know, give him the old surprise butt sex. And wow, what a fun tank to play this Caliban is. You know, out of all the loot box tanks, my first choice was the Yo tank, and when I got the Yo tank and the Tornwagen, I was pretty happy. But I have a test account with the Caliban inside, and I promise you, after playing the Caliban, I couldn't stop playing it. I kept playing it and kept playing it and kept playing it. I had so much fun. I'm so unhappy that I did not get the Caliban in my 100 boxes. Instead got the Tornwagen and the M4Y. Anyway, if you're buying any of the boxes and you are making a wish, you want to wish for the Caliban. You don't want the Tornwagen and you don't want the M4Y, because this tank is just hilarious. It is so much fun. You just keep on playing it. It keeps calling you. You keep playing it because it is just hilarious when you can roll 1000 hit points from your enemies. So anyway, congratulations to this guy. He got the Kolobanov and an ace tanker. Hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.